Hi, Dr. Cali. It's so nice to have you on the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, beautiful. Dr. Cali, I am so excited to have you on the show for two reasons. The first one is the fact that I strictly believe that knowledge is the solution to what's problem. And the second one, which is also very essential, is that I believe that there are some things that okay, that some of my audience needs to hear directly from your mouth in order to experience transformation. I firmly believe that. And I also believe that I am going to learn one or two things from your story, your insight, your experiences. I am so sure of that. So, for that reason, Dr. Kali, I want us to get started with your story, the challenges that you faced, and how you overcame them. And afterwards, I've got some beautiful questions for you. Okay, Dr. Kali, over to you.
Sure. So, my problem started with when I was a child, my mother would use food as a stress reliever. So, whenever there was a problem, we would eat. When there was a decision that had to be made, there would be a meal with dessert. Everything revolved around food, whether it was celebration or sadness, issues, everything revolved around that. So I grew up learning every time you face a challenge, you eat. And while you eat, you make a decision. And of course, you gain weight, you don't look so good, you don't feel good. And then I ended up going to a counselor who basically said to me, well, you don't have an eating disorder. Because back then, in our diagnostical manual, I didn't fit the criteria. So because I didn't fit the criteria, they said there's nothing wrong with you and sent me to a fat doctor. And the fat doctor gave me pills. And those pills helped me lose weight. And the more weight I lost, the more food I could eat. So I took the pills, I ate the food, I took the pills, I ate the food, and I got thin, but I never solved the problem. So then I became addicted to the pills. And that was fen-phen, which they made illegal because it was killing people. And after that, I turned to street drugs. I turned to speed. I turned to rip fuel. I turned to things that I could get to continue losing weight, but I never fixed the problem. And then one day I ended up in the emergency room, and the doctor said, you're eating the lining of your heart with these drugs. You're going to die. And of course, I said, no, I'm fine. I'm just early 20s. Everything's fine. And then in the ER again, different doctor this time, and he said the same thing. And this time I listened and I stopped doing the drugs. But I had to get to the bottom of why I was eating, and I had all these emotional issues. So that's sort of my whole journey. And I got into addiction medicine because nobody could help me. Nobody seemed to know why. Nobody had any resources. And they sent me to an OA meeting, which is Overeaters Anonymous, and an NA meeting, which is Narcotics Anonymous. And those two are very different. And at the NA meeting, they had sugar and caffeine and cigarettes, which were all my drugs of choice. So I wasn't getting better. I was going to the meeting, but I was enjoying the sugar, which led to the diet pills. So all of these things didn't help. And I finally got sober on a yoga mat. A friend took me to a yoga class and said, let's do yoga. And I couldn't touch my toes. I had never been in a yoga room before, but I went and I learned how to do it. And I learned how to get rid of all my negative feelings on that yoga mat and how to make myself feel better each time I did the sun salutations and did the different poses. I would start to feel better. And the more I felt better, the less I wanted the drugs, the less I wanted the sugar. And then I eventually became sugar free. So that's how I did it.
That's amazing. And I'm grateful for your friend. What's her name? That's truly a great friend. Okay, so shall we get started with the questions?
Yes, please.
Okay, so let's say someone asks you, "Hey, Dr. Kali, hearing you speak on the podcast and how you overcame food addiction and all of that, how can I also overcome food addiction easily?" What would your response be?
So you start with something easy. You take sugar out of your drinks first. So no sugar in your coffee, no sugar in your tea. Start there. Do that for 2 or 3 weeks. Then take it out of something else. So maybe you put it in your spaghetti sauce or you put it in your food when you cook. Don't do that. Take it out. And little bit by little bit, instead of having a big piece of cake, have half a piece of cake. Instead of having ice cream, have yogurt. Do little things like that so you don't feel like you're not having a reward. And eventually your body will adjust to not having the sugar. And then when you have sugar and you have something very sweet like a donut, you won't like it. You'll say, this is too sweet. It doesn't taste right. It tastes like chemicals. And that's because your body got used to the natural fruits. It likes banana instead of a donut. Because you don't need a donut to live. You need a banana. A banana has a lot of nutrients and vitamins. The donut does not. But if you slowly do it, you can do it easily.
Beautiful. That's very practical. Thank you for that. Okay, so how can one use the law of attraction to build a business, create a relationship, or for dating?
So this is easy. You have to envision it as if it already happened. You're already there. So if you close your eyes and you go into meditation, you pretend you're in the room with what you want. So whether it's the business, the relationship, maybe you want to go to school, you imagine you're already there. So let's say, for example, you want to be in a relationship. Maybe you imagine yourself having dinner with this person. You imagine what they look like across from you, what they're eating, what you're eating, how the conversation goes, how easy it is, how you like them, how they like you. Like you are there. And then when you open your eyes from the meditation, you draw that image to you. So you imagine you're in that image now. So basically, what you're doing is collapsing time, right? You're taking the future of what you want and the present of what you have and collapsing it so as if the future was now. Then you do it again. You meditate again. You imagine you're at the restaurant. Can be the same restaurant, different one, having food, having a conversation. Maybe you're going for a walk in the park. Maybe you're on a roller coaster, whatever. And you draw that to you. And then it's happening today. And you do it again and again and again. And then what happens is you meet that person and you go, wow, they're familiar. They were what I picked. They look like this. They ate this. And you'll say it's deja vu. I've been here. This happened. So you're manifesting it by collapsing the time onto future, onto present.
That's a deep one. That's a deep one. Okay, we still have some questions. Okay, let us get personal a bit. What is on your bucket list? Can you talk to us about it?
So I had a bucket list to see all the states in America and all the national parks, and I've almost done that. And then I want to go to Europe and Africa. So now my next thing is all of Europe. And then I want to go through African safari and check out Africa next. So I'm a very big travel person.
That's beautiful. I love that. I love that. I love that. Okay, let us talk about what sober on demand means exactly. What does it really mean?
So sober on demand is when you decide, I want to get sober and I want help now. And the entire treatment team that I have comes to you. So instead of you going to a rehab or a facility, we bring everybody to you to help you get sober on demand right now.
Right now. Okay, beautiful. So, you have a book. Did you write any book? Okay, can you talk to us about what's the title of your book, the inspiration behind the writing? Let's know it.
So I have 5 books. The newest one is called I Married a Junkie, the final chapter. And it's about my life with my husband who passed away. He was a heroin addict. And all the things that happened during his drug use, how he ended up in the hospital, and subsequently died, not from drugs themselves, but from the long-term effects of what they do to your body. So that's my newest book coming out. I have one called The 7 Keys to Tap into the Wealth Inside You, which is all law of attraction and manifestation.
Oh, beautiful. So, is it available on Amazon?
Yep, All of them are on Amazon.
Okay, beautiful. Not that's very good. I like that. Okay, so what is your worst childhood memory? Can you share that with us?
My worst childhood memory?
Yeah.
My worst childhood memory was, I think probably my father was very bipolar. He was violent. So I have memories of him kidnapping my sister, putting a gun to my head, things like that. So when you talk worst childhood memory, probably that kind of stuff.
Mhm. Okay,
Deep.
so I was about to say that. Okay, so what is your driving passion to help others?
When somebody calls me and says, 10 years later, you helped me get sober,
Mm,
and here I am, and here how successful I am, and here's how I'm helping other people. So when I help one person, they in turn help other people, and it kind of goes downhill, I guess. It trickles with everybody.
okay, beautiful. So, the second to the last question. Do you really think that sugar is a gateway to drug?
Oh, yeah. Sugar
Mm,
and heroin have almost the same chemical makeup. So sugar pings the brain like cocaine, detoxes in the body like heroin. So when I say to somebody, sugar is a drug, they say, no, no. And I say, all right, I want you to go sugar free for 2 weeks. No sugar in anything. That means cane sugar, raw sugar, corn syrup, none of it. No honey, no agave nectar, nothing. On day 2, they call me and tell me my head hurts. I'm cranky. I feel achy. I don't want to get out of bed. I'm depressed. And I say, that's the heroin detox. It's the same as sugar.
mm. No, I never. Okay, so to bring this to an end, Dr. Kali, what would you like to leave the audience with, like a final thought? And to those ones who would like to reach out to you, learn more about what you do, or even get your book, your newest book, once is out, how can that be possible?
Sure. So you can find me on Amazon. You can also find me at soberondemand.com, which is pretty easy. And then I have a school to train other people. So anybody that wants to become a sugar addiction coach or an addictions coach or a counselor, we are in 40 different countries accreditation. So we are across the globe for training and helping people help other people. And that school is called theaddictionsacademy.com. So they can reach out to me for any of that. And my parting words would be, if you are trying to come off sugar or get sober or have a better life, stop thinking about it and start doing it. The first step is the hardest, but once you get your steps going, you'll get them going and you'll start feeling better.
Beautiful. So that's going to be the end of the show, Dr. Kali. Thank you for coming and, thank you for blessing us with amazing insight. And
Thank
that
you for
stuff you
having me.
said about sugar, I never knew it before. Oh man. Maybe now I would have to invite you again to come talk to us more. Okay, so
Sure.
thank you for coming. Thank you so very much, Dr. Kali.
Have a good day.
Yeah.